Stetson Bennett has to be the first individual that you pull out. Stetson Bennett came out of high school. Nobody wanted him. He walked on to Georgia. Wasn't working out. Goes to Jones County Community College. Comes back to Georgia. Has to fight off or has to outlast some 5 stars like JT Daniels. Has to outlast some players that were already there. Finally gets his shot. And the first year he got his shot, he was fine. It was good. But then last year in the national championship game, in the fourth quarter, he was the best player on the field. And ever since that moment, he has just been the swinging dick guy on that team. And tonight was just he had total command of the offense. And he goes down now, 26-1 in his last 27 games, 2 national titles, as not only maybe the greatest Georgia Bulldog of all time, supplanting Herschel Walker, but he goes down as one of the greatest college football quarterbacks of all time. Imagine saying that 2 years ago.
It would have been crazy to think, and I know we talked about it a little bit on the stream, but Aaron Murray tweeted this, and it started a discussion. Let the debate begin. Stetson is now the greatest player in Georgia history. Put up his resume against anyone after tonight. It can't be touched. And from a resume standpoint, you absolutely have to consider that. And it is, no, athletically, of course not. And we've had this debate over and over and over. We don't have to do that tonight because he deserves all the accolades. If you can go back-to-back and win a national title, and you were the quarterback, and you were in the Heisman conversation, and you weren't even going to be playing, you are one of the best stories in school history.
If you win one national title, it puts you in good company with a lot of quarterbacks that win national championships. If you win 2 national titles, you're all of a sudden in a very exclusive country club, and there ain't a lot of people waiting for a tea time.
Think about how many guys have won national titles at their school that never do anything in the NFL, that never take it to the next level, but they will always be a celebrity and always be a fairy tale for that school and in that college town. Stetson just did it twice. I understand there's a lot of different thought about what's going to happen with him at the next level, but he's a legend forever. One time, now it's double. Stetson Bennett knows how much of a legend he is too. He was having so much fun.
Yeah. Oh,
he was flexing.
Kirby took the time out and took him out of the game. I'm just realizing he might have meant the other one.
No.
Okay. But anyway, Kirby took him out of the game. And he got to come out with 14 minutes left, and he was able to stand on the sideline, dap everybody up,
living the dream.
Yeah, and got to, because last year in the national title game, which is 2 different experiences, 2 awesome experiences, in the fourth quarter he pulled the iron out of the fire and won the game. Mm-hmm. This time he just got to sit back and look at what he had done.
You know how Jack asked us on, I don't know if it was last podcast or one of the most recent podcasts, maybe it was after the semifinals, why people don't like Stetson. It's because he does have that, I don't know if it's the only reason, but he has that air of just arrogance about him,
right.
Which, don't get me wrong, I think all of us would.
He has a swagger.
He has a swagger, but you saw it come out in just a way of of course he has that. And credit to you, he was pulled out of the game because they were so far ahead, which you said was going to happen. And I think it was hyperbole when you said it, but you were right. Why would he not act like that? Anybody would.
Yeah. So, and there, one thing that has to be pointed out is a lot of his throws tonight, and maybe even over his career, where he's throwing to wide open guys. There's one guy that probably doesn't get enough credit for Georgia's success. His name is Todd Monken. He's their offensive coordinator. I don't know if it's the first touchdown. Maybe I think it was the second touchdown, but it was to Ladd McConkey. And it was completely a schemed touchdown.
Ladd McConkey.
What a name. We're sitting here talking about Ladd McConkey and Stetson Bennett being on the most dominant team
2
ever.
3 stars, I think.
Yeah, but that was a completely schemed touchdown where they came out of a 2 wide receiver on one side set with Brock Bowers on the other side, and they just fooled them. And
Ladd McConkey's grandfather's wish for him was to go to Tennessee. How many times does Tennessee fans have to sit back in this game and watch a guy that should have been going to your school win a natty?
Well, let me. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, along with Monken,
Yeah.
And he deserves credit here too. But I think Monken and Kirby deserve a lot of credit for not going away from Stetson. They had probably 75 opportunities because Stetson had moments he didn't play well, but they stuck with him. There was times I was like, you got to go to JT. You got to go to JT. Stetson would get injured. They go to JT, and I'm like, why are you bringing Stetson back in? And it turns out they saw the vision somehow. They saw the script.
And credit to Stetson tonight. He didn't have any of those moments that we saw against Ohio State where there were moments, especially in the third quarter of that game, where he did struggle. From start to finish, and obviously TCU's defense. I was about to say, a lot of that has to do with TCU's defense as well.
A lot of chickens came home to roost for TCU.
Yes, definitely. There's no doubt about that. But to give Stetson the stars that he deserves, there was no doubt in his mind from the time that game started to the time that he was taken out of the game that he deserved every single bit of praise he's getting.